What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Above the Rim. I'm Austin Townley, and this is James Derrick. And we're back for the second episode this week.
I know, right?
Presented by Afterthought Sports. You know, we're here. Second time this week.
When we plan the show, I always throw the date next to what episode it is, and I was like, wow, that's a short amount of time between episodes. We're really on top of things right now.
Well, there's a lot going on. NBA draft just happened the past 2 days. First round was Wednesday. Second round was Thursday. We're recording this on Friday.
You got to talk about the draft.
Got to talk about the draft. It was
everything
very
with
important.
it.
I mean, a lot came with this NBA draft this year. I feel like we saw a lot more important moves being made this season in this draft compared to last year. It's a good class. A lot of good picks. A lot of teams looking to add good rotational minutes for other guys on the roster. So yeah, it was exciting. Obviously, Cooper Flagg went 1. That was the given. I mean, everybody knew since, the lottery, even before the lottery, even before the end of the tournament, everyone knew Cooper Flagg was going to go first overall. And then the rest trickled as little dominoes as to that Cooper Flagg pick. So, with that being said, Above the Rim, episode 17.
Underway
Right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, you were kind of talking about it, Cooper Flagg, number 1 overall pick. That's kind of part of the big takeaways for me is, Duke dominates yet again. This is with Flagg, Knipple, and Malawach, however you would like to pronounce it. It's the third set of teammates drafted within the lottery from Duke. 1999 was Elton Brand, Trajan Langdon, and Corey Maggette. And then 2019, obviously Zion, RJ, and Cam Reddish. They were also in the top 10, like this year's was. They were all in the top 10, not just the lottery. But hey, if you want to make it to the NBA, you want to get paid, and you're figuring out where you want to go to school, Duke is the place to go. It's still obvious.
Oh, obviously. I mean, duh. Duke I feel like they just produce superstar after superstar after superstar.
Can't help it.
Man, Duke, they're a great school. They got great coaching staff over there. They got great facilities, top of the line. And Cooper Flagg, he was pretty decided on Duke.
Yeah, well, and hey, that's I think this is just something like what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people want to go overseas or do this or that. You can take the college route, and especially if you're the top of the line of your high school recruiting class, you should be going to school. You should go to school, and you should go to Duke, actually.
Yeah.
But, any other team within that range, kind of the same thing for me is, you can go overseas and make money now, but I think you should still go to school. I think there's a big market for it now.
I think I think we're going to see a lot more guys go to school. I mean, the money is in college basketball now, and it's unfortunate to an extent. It does kind of ruin, growing your team and really bringing in young guys and developing, but it brings a bigger audience to basketball. It's gonna push kids to actually go to college instead of going to the G League Ignite. I mean, you saw that G League Ignite team, it only produced so many NBA guys. I mean, and the guys that did go there, Jalen Green being one of them, they still haven't become like the stars that they're expected to yet. I mean, Scoot Henderson, clearly taking him a little extra time to, get going with Portland. He was out of G League Ignite. So I think college is going to be the route for guys from here on out. And I hope that is the case because college basketball there's nothing like it. You're not going to get the excitement of a one game, have to win, you're out tournament anywhere else. You don't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys that can really push their own draft stock, like Walter Clayton Jr., who we saw.
Right.
I saw in a lot of mocks. He was as late as the 28th pick or so, and he gets drafted at 18. And it's hard to imagine he's drafted there without that whole tournament taking place and him making so many crazy shots that he did. So, and the other thing that I wanted to mention is Ace Bailey, all the way to 5 in this draft. Projected number 3 prospect in almost every draft. I saw someone say he has maybe some of that Michael Beasley syndrome. Didn't seem to rub a lot of GMs the right way. I mean, couldn't have been too many. He was still the 5th pick. And trust me, I think we both agree when we say he still has talent, a ton of talent.
Oh,
definitely
100%.
One of the top.
Yeah. Oh,
it felt like top 3 in this draft was very decided. These were the top 3 guys. It was going to be Flagg, Ace Bailey, and Dylan Harper. But obviously it didn't go that way.
way.
But, I think Ace Bailey's still a top 3 talent, whether you take him at 5 or whether you take him at 20, you know?
Yeah, I said this like during the draft still. I think Ace Bailey's going to end up being the steal of the draft, even at pick number 5. I mean, Ace Bailey is incredibly talented. He dropped 39 points in a college game this season. He's very good. He's incredible. He's got the length. He's got the build. It seems like he has the talent that is needed. Does he have the drive that is needed? I saw a video of him working out with Giannis, with Dylan Harper, and to be completely honest with you, it didn't look like he was really absorbing the information that Giannis was giving him as much as Dylan Harper was. I mean, you could tell Ace Bailey's face. He kind of was he was taking in what Giannis was teaching him, yes, but it looked like Ace Bailey was kind of just going through the motions when Dylan Harper was sitting there digesting it, taking it in, really understanding every word that Giannis was saying. And he seemed to be caring a little bit more, and Ace Bailey was kind of just like,
We'll see. I mean, I really hope he has the work ethic, but like as we know, he didn't even want to be in Utah.
He actually isn't even in Utah yet, as of when we're recording this. Walter Clayton is in Utah. Ace Bailey hasn't reported yet. Ace Bailey's manager, I think he declined. He refused to, talk about it. I don't know, give a statement. I think it's interesting. It's kind of weird. I don't want to see this to be like a reoccurring thing in future drafts. A young guy who has not established himself at all whatsoever, trying to control his destiny. I understand to a point where it's like, yes, I want to be able to control my career. But at the same time, this is how it works. You get drafted and you go to the team that drafts you.
Yeah, and I really want to say the Utah Jazz GM is like Danny Ainge, right? He did not care that Ace Bailey
not at all, bro.
He saw Ace Bailey on the board. He started jumping for joy, and he said, "We're going to take Ace Bailey."
Whether you like it or not, Ace, you're going to Utah, and you're going to have to deal with it. If you're playing in the NBA, you're going to have a Utah Jazz uniform on you. And Brian Windhorst said this earlier today. So I think it's really interesting. I don't like it, but we'll see where the saga goes. I mean, I feel like he's going to report to camp. He's mandatory to be there by Monday for Summer League camp. Summer League starts July 10th, so that's very soon. I don't know what happens if he doesn't go, but I'd assume he does.
Not to go off on too much of a rant, but I'm sure you agree with me, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well. And it's that people have a lot of choice in where they go in the draft these days. And, it is a draft. However, there's a lot of times that you see someone like Ace Bailey not picked at 3 or 4 because of those kind of where he doesn't want to go to this place or doesn't want to go to that place. Do you feel like that should be? I mean, do they have any say? Should they have any say? Is maybe what I am saying here. Should they have say?
Man, hell no. Honest to God, dude. Listen,
the teams that are in line to pick you need you.
There's a reason.
Just say no.
There's a reason you're a top pick in the draft lottery is the way it is. The worst team in the league has the best odds to take you. And brother, Ace, just want to throw this out there. You're gonna be the number 1 option in Utah. Why would you not want to go there? There's a reason you're a top guy and you're sought after by all of these bad teams. Dude, they're bad. They need a good player. That's the whole reason that they want to take you is because they're trash and they're trying to fix it. Like, I don't understand this whole, no, I won't go play for you. Dude, why would you not want to go play in Philadelphia? You have an MVP there, a former MVP, a former All-NBA, perennial All-Star in Paul George that plays your position that you can learn from. And then you got upcoming guys like Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. You can learn from McCain how his rookie season went, how he dealt with injury his rookie season, how he, earned minutes on that team, and then Maxey the same way. He didn't go into that team, as a rotational guy instantly. He earned his minutes. You can, those are situations where you can go in, and yes, they're not like the worst team in the league, and yes, you're not going to get insane minutes to start there, but I think that's almost better because you're going to go learn from greats.
Yeah. And, this is just me speculating here. No way of proving that this is why he felt that or not. However, it kind of bleeds a little bit of a weakness in his mentalities. He doesn't think he can go there and earn himself minutes.
Right.
He doesn't think, at least that's what I'm getting from it.
No,
he doesn't think he can go there.
Completely agree.
And, develop how he wants to. And I think that kind of it's a little bit of a weaker mentality, in my opinion. If you think, oh, there's a lot of guys there, I'm still going to go there and I'm going to earn those minutes. I'm going to do this or that. I think that's something, Kobe would never. I see that all the time in TikTok.
Kobe would never
talk, hating on whatever player. Kobe would never. Like, that's true.
It is true. He wouldn't. He wouldn't.
He would say, I don't care where they draft me. I'm taking over by year 5 or something.
It's silly things. I mean, Reed Shepherd was taken, what overall was he, by Houston? 3rd? Was he not taken 3rd overall by the Houston Rockets?
It's somewhere around there.
He didn't even play last year. He's in the G League. Do you see him complaining on all this stuff? No. Is he going to play next year? Probably not that much, but I guarantee you in 3 years from now, he's going to be the starting point guard of the Houston Rockets. Like, sometimes it takes time to develop. Derek White wasn't even looked at. He put the time in the gym. He has the work ethic. He learned. And I think that's the best players is when they take their time and they learn. And I think VJ Edgecombe is going to do nothing but great things in Philadelphia. And I think he's going to just absorb everything that's being taught to him.
Hey, man, he came from nothing. That's all I need to hear is that right there. It reminds me a lot of Giannis when he's talking about John Halliburton and how his family came from nothing. And it just bleeds the same level of, I want it. That, I think VJ Edgecombe will be.
Same thing with my boy.
Okay.
Come on, Maluwak, man. He's got the whole country on his back. He was in tears when we drafted him. Holy shit. I could not be more excited about a Phoenix Suns season than I am right now, dude.
That's wonderful, Austin. I'm not going to lie. I was with him while we were watching the draft, and I was shook when you guys actually were able to get Maluwak. I'm not going to lie.
How did he fall to 10? How did Maluwak fall to 10? This is the perfect guy the Phoenix Suns needed. A 7-footer who's a lob threat, who could very well end up being a defensive player of the year at some point in his career. He's 18 years old and he's 7'2". 7-foot wingspan, whatever. 18.
Yeah, he's got the tools for sure. You can still you can still basically build this player. Like he's
Dude, I'm so hype. I'm so hype.
I would also be hype if I was in your position.
Man, the Phoenix Suns. You are making me happy right now.
Well, when they took who was it? Right before Phoenix, when they took Colin Murray Boyles. When they said Colin, I thought it was come on. I thought you were going to get edged by 1 pick. I was almost certain of it. I did not think Murray Boyles was going to go before Maluwak, but hey,
he was pissed. He was pissed he's going to Toronto.
Really?
Did you see him?
When he stood up?
He stood up and he was like, it was mad funny.
Either that or I don't know if he was pissed he's going to Toronto. Maybe as much as he stood up and he was just kind of like, man, I got drafted. Like,
true.
But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there.
This
but
dude
it looked like he was pissed.
Maluwak was projected anywhere between 6 and 9. Nobody had him falling to 10. And I was like, nah, he's going to fall to 10. Just trust. Just wait. And sure enough, pick number 10 comes around. The Phoenix Suns are on the clock.
Yeah, you're using up some of that good karma you got from tearing your ACL.
This is amazing.
Flipping your meniscus.
This is amazing. Now that we're on the topic of the Phoenix Suns, not only did they draft Kaman Maluwak, they traded for Mark Williams, baby. Mark Williams, a stud from Charlotte. If he stays healthy, but, I think it's just Charlotte. I think he's a winning basketball player. He's a great defender. He can score the ball. He can rebound. He can block shots. Perfect fit. Maluwak's going to learn from Mark Williams, and we're going to have that double big rotation, and eventually maybe we can start both of them.
We'll see about that. But in the trade, right, you give away the rights to who was eventually Liam McNeely, the guard from UConn.
He's very good.
He's very, I'm not sure how it pans out in the NBA, but we know he's a tremendous college basketball player, and a 2029 first, which was a least favorable between you guys and someone else.
Utah, I believe.
And then obviously you package those together, you get Mark Williams. But before we move away from the draft too much, I just want to say my last takeaway: the Brooklyn Nets had 5 first-round picks, so. They took everybody.
They took all the guards.
All of them almost.
All of them. Even Danny Wolf is he's a point forward.
I mean, a 7-foot point forward at that. I mean, I don't really know how to feel. I mean, I've seen great things from Igor, Nolan Troy, especially on social media now. You see all those clips of the guard from France. He looks like he could be pretty legit, but all of these guys, I mean, you won't know if the Nets necessarily won or lost the draft and for another, 2-3 years, but they, decent chance they won, right? They took 5 people.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is kind of like a big like what if scenario. I see a lot of guards. Maybe they don't want to pay Cam Thomas what he wants because Cam Thomas is going to go out demanding $100 million over 4 years, probably. I mean, he had a great season. He can shoot the ball over anybody, hand in his face. It's almost like a better percentage for him to make it. If I'm Brooklyn, man, I'm not even paying Cam Thomas this summer. I'm going to just ride with these guys, and they're not good. They're not going to be good with Cam Thomas regardless. So it also makes me think, fire sale in Brooklyn? Nicholas Claxton, Cam Johnson?
Yeah. Is it everybody?
Is everyone on the table for Brooklyn? And if so, Phoenix better make some calls. Get Cam Johnson back.
Yeah. Is Brooklyn going to move for the old school, just absolutely blow it up?
I think they need to.
Probably the best option. You don't want to pay Cam Thomas.
No, you don't want to pay Cam Thomas $100 million over 4 years. I think that's stupid. He can't even play defense.
Yeah, no, especially when the league is all 3 and D. Your best player is just a 3. But anyways, we were talking about Mark Williams to the Suns.
Yes.
You guys definitely reinforced some positions that you needed going into draft day. And like going into draft day, you have all these needs. Coming out of draft day, you don't have any of these needs. I mean, somewhat, right? It's partially filled by rookies who you can't judge yet. Kaman Malawak could be a massive bust in,
no, it won't be.
5 years. However, he'd still only be 23. So I think there's a fair chance that
he's only 23 in 5 years.
I didn't count. I should have done this before the episode. I did not usually with all the mocks, I was looking. Everyone in the top 10 for most mock drafts was 18 or 19 years old. I'm not sure how common that is in every draft that all of the top 10 are 18, 19-year-olds, but it's just, there's a lot of guys that are just going straight to the NBA after maybe 1 year in school, maybe 1 year overseas. But I feel like a lot of the time, some of these guys have a little bit more
for sure.
experience coming into the league.
Experience coming into the league, I'm not done talking about the Phoenix draft because I'm not going to lie to you. This is the most important draft or was the most important draft for the Phoenix Suns for the next 5 years. We don't have draft capital. So when Malawak fell to Phoenix at 10, that's the dream scenario. That is literally the dream scenario. And then to pick up Mark Williams with giving up 2 unfavorable first round picks, I'm fine with that. The least favorable pick that we traded, as well as the other pick that we traded, Liam McNeely, we weren't going to get guys that we necessarily wanted. It's going to be a late 20s pick for Mark Williams, and Liam McNeely, we don't need him.
Well, to be fair, it is the least favorable pick between you and the Jazz.
I believe so.
What if you and the Jazz are both in the lottery next year?
Well, no, I think it's like a few teams. I don't really understand. It's a complicated pick.
We'll see.
So.
But just saying, if that was the case, maybe it still could have.
Right.
But not trying to shit on you. Go.
But so that fixed our center problem. Then we had a gap at power forward. So going into Thursday, we had a late second round pick. It was pick number 41, I believe. And all of a sudden, Shams just starts. The Phoenix Suns have traded with the Golden State Warriors to get number 51. The Phoenix Suns were traded with Utah Jazz to get like 52 or something. And then we made a trade to trade up to number 39, or 36, sorry. Moved up to 36. Then we traded to get number 31, the first pick in the second round. And who did we draft? Exactly what we needed. We drafted exactly what we needed. A forward that can play defense. He can score the ball. He can rebound. He can block shots. He's efficient. He's NBA ready. Rasheer Fleming.
Yeah.
Rasheer Fleming, absolute dog.
Average 15 a game on 8.5 rebounds, a little over an assist per game. He shot 39% from 3 from St. Joe's. And, we're familiar with St. Joe's, going to St. Bonaventure University.
This is a jersey I'm going to be buying. I watched him torch Bonaventure. He's incredible. And he's a young guy. And his interview, this is what he wants to do for the Phoenix Suns. And this is the best part, James. He wants to do all the dirty work. He doesn't care if his shots aren't going in, which he doubts, by the way. Which he doubts that he's not going to be making shots. Confidence is key. He wants to just go in and hustle and work hard and do all the dirty work and make those Marcus Smart plays. And that's incredible. That's what you want out of a rookie.
Yeah, averaged 3 stocks in his last season at St. Joe's. So he's familiar with that role a little bit. Obviously, he can score the ball too, but he's a forward that can rebound as well, which you guys desperately need. Besides
100%.
just the big man that you guys obtained over the course of the draft. However, fun fact: I was just looking because it's become a pain in my ass to look back at the draft by round on ESPN and see all the logos of teams that draft these guys, but then, oh wait, it's actually, they traded it to so-and-so. But out of how many picks are there? 59, I want to say. Out of the 59 picks in the NBA draft, 26 of them were traded either immediately or like right before the pick was taken. 26. I mean, I guess it is usually like that, but is it like, is there always this much movement in the second round? I feel like Shams was going absolutely ballistic.
The second round this year is
in the second round when the second round started. There's actually a stretch in the second round from the 36th pick to the 53rd pick, where that pick was either traded prior to the draft in a deal or traded at the draft. So, lots of trades.
It was really exciting to watch.
Teams don't own just their own pick anymore. Usually.
No, they don't. This was one of the most exciting NBA drafts in a minute, both first and second round. And then later in the second round, Phoenix picked up Kobe Bray, who, as Phoenix needed a knockdown three-point shooter. Kobe Bray last year in college, he shot 43% from the three last season, but the year before that at Dayton, he shot 49% from three. And he's 6'6".
Hey.
Bye, Grayson Allen. We don't need you anymore. I love you, but we actually don't need Grayson Allen anymore.
Hey, you need him at least one more year. Rookie's not going to play right off the bat.
No, I think Phoenix is going to go and play the rookies. I think they're going to try to move Grayson Allen. They're going to try to move Royce O'Neal, and now we can move Nick Richards. And we still have Bradley Beal that we got to figure out. Rumors to Chicago, but I don't want to talk about Bradley Beal. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of talking about him.
So am I.
And if you can't tell, I'm ecstatic about the Phoenix Suns draft. I think the Suns won the draft the past 2 days. They did everything they needed, and they made moves to get up and get the guys that they wanted.
Are you going to apologize to your GM?
Yeah, I actually am. Matt Ishbia, you're the owner. That's who I was going off on last time. I apologize. I apologize. You're doing the right things right now. And Brian Gregory, you stepped in as a new GM for the team, and you're making great moves and great decisions, and you're building a culture in Phoenix with the young guys. So thank you. I'm very happy.
And also, not to mention, as someone mentioned in our TikTok comments, Ishbia is also the owner that decided to input $1 for a drink or food at the Phoenix. What is your place even called? I don't even know. I forgot. But regardless,
the Footprint Center, James.
Oh God,
you don't know the name of the Suns, the Footprint Center?
No, I did not know it was called the Footprint Center.
Well, you should have known that. You should have known that's what it's called.
You can't shit on your owner. He's actually been a phenomenal owner. So, I mean, with the exception of something.
Hey, he's better than our old owner. Our old owner was a piece of trash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did some bad things.
Well.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about him then.
No. Listen, Matt Ishbia, got a little love-hate relationship with you, my man, because listen, you came in here and you immediately traded for Kevin Durant. Yes, I was ecstatic, but yes, you traded my two favorite players on the Suns. You traded the Twins. Come on. Suns fans will never forget that or forgive for that. I'm not going to lie to you. Suns fans love the Twins. They were the heart and soul, the culture of Phoenix. You traded them away. We were trash, and then you traded for Bradley Beal. So, but you're redeeming yourself. We're on a level field right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you just wanted to make sure you guys were cool because, things were going to get real uncomfortable over the next couple, days.
Hey, thanks to you, I just got a KD jersey for $50. So thanks, man.
Bang. Sent that to the group chat this morning. Anyways, some other trades that we missed out on. Besides, any final thoughts on the draft, actually, before we move on from the draft? Or maybe some winners, losers. Obviously, you mentioned the Suns, a winner in your eyes. Anyone else? I mean, I think there's some teams that made out fairly well. I mean, I think I have to mention at least the Brooklyn Nets for picking 5 guys. Someone's got to work out.
Crazy. I can't believe it.
Winner? Any other winners for you?
Besides Phoenix, obviously Dallas. You won the whole draft. You got Cooper Flag. I think he goes in there and you guys instantly compete for a championship right where you left off last season, because if it weren't for Kyrie going down and AD ever getting hurt, you guys probably would have been very far in the playoffs, and you would have never been in the situation that you're in right now, drafting Cooper Flag. So it's very lucky. I also want to say Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia did a great job drafting. I think VJ Edgecombe was the guy to take that was available. I mean, Dylan Harper, Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, VJ Edgecombe, even Trey Johnson. I think other years, these guys go number 1. I genuinely think all of these guys could be a number 1 overall pick. Trey Johnson to Washington. I love that.
Now I don't feel bad for Sean Wallace.
No, I don't feel bad for Sean Wallace, because Trey Johnson at one point was ranked number 1 in this class. So I think everybody drafted really well. There wasn't like a big shock draft night where I was like, wow, that team really screwed up. Like, that's not what they needed. I mean,
you could
Brooklyn,
maybe say debatable. This for not the Grizzlies,
New Orleans,
or was it Portland that drafted Yang Hansen?
Yes. Wait, yeah, I want to talk about that. They drafted him at 18.
I just wasn't prepared for that. I thought he was a second round guy. Not like, I'm not going to pretend like I knew who this was before the draft. Okay?
No, I didn't either. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't.
ESPN, I said I had him. ESPN had him as a second rounder, 35th overall. And they drafted him at 16. I guess they couldn't find someone to trade back with. They just decided to reach.
Could be the steal of the draft. The heavens. I've been seeing clips of him pop up. He's got really good footwork, like very good footwork. He's got good control, and he's massive.
Hey, well, yeah. What I see here, including he has a 9'3" standing reach. So like if he's standing underneath the basket, he pretty much can touch the rim without jumping. So big guy, 7'1", 250 pounds.
I mean, in Portland though, it doesn't even make sense. They have Ayton, they have Robert Williams, and they have Klingon, and now they have this guy.
They don't want height to be a problem.
I guess not.
I also imagine this guy's not going to play for the first.
Probably not the first 3 years of his career. I mean,
low key, yeah. I don't know. I will say, for winners, I think we're good. I don't really have a loser. How can you say someone lost the draft?
Well, you can say they lost the draft if they never got a pick. The Denver Nuggets, you guys lost because you didn't even get a pick.
One of the best drafts in years. You guys don't have anything.
Which is crazy because you feel like they'd be trying to get Jokic some more help over there.
You didn't want to get in on the second round action. I mean, there's some good guys available. I mean, hey, Tyrese Proctor was laying around in the later second round even.
Nembhard's brother went undrafted and signed with a team after the draft.
Hey, I mean,
Brian Nembhard, he's a bucket. I mean, it could have been cool. Denver could have signed him. It's not like you guys didn't even sign anybody that didn't get drafted. You just didn't do anything.
The Pacers could have just drafted somebody else late in the second round with pick number 54. They actually drafted somebody who probably was not going to get picked in the next 5 picks. So I guess that's a little questionable. Talon Peters, shout out you from Liberty. He was outside of ESPN's top 100. Probably could have just signed him after the draft. Probably didn't have to waste a pick on him. But
they must really see something in him. And they're like, wow, we need him.
They wanted to offer him some extra money, I guess.
The Pelicans don't really make any sense to me. I like the guys that they drafted, but you have them on your roster already. Jeremiah Fears is basically Jordan Poole. Derek Queen is literally Zion.
I'm not sure if he's as much as Zion. But he's not the athleticism.
I mean, Zion, but the dude's built the exact same as Zion Williamson, just a little slimmer, I should say.
He's not quite as athletic as Zion.
No, he's not. Still. But he's a guy that kind of plays like him. They're kind of a point forward, attacking the rim. I don't know. They're good picks. I like Zero Fears. Jeremiah Fears. His jersey is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I can't disagree with that.
I don't necessarily know what they're doing here. The fact that they traded up to pick 14 and they drafted Derek Queen. The trade made no sense, dog. I don't know. It wasn't really a fair trade.
They gave away a first for next year? And
yeah, they gave away
they're
they're kind of dumb. Like, I don't know. Interesting move by New Orleans. I don't understand what's going on there because they have a lot of guards and a lot of forwards, and Yves Missy, so their center.
yeah, man. So hey, the Spurt. Wait, where was Derek number 13? Excuse me. The Hawks. They did trade find for their 13th pick, and the CPU just offered them something they could not turn down. So they had to go with it.
That's so good.
I mean, that's a trade finder trade right there.
100%.
100%. You're like, oh, first next year too. Give me that. Yeah, I'll take that every day of the week. They must
Accepted
really
it
like
right
Derek,
away.
Derek Queen. Must
Have
like
really liked Derek Queen.
I hope he pans out.
I mean, I think
I hope he's
good.
worth 2 firsts.
I wanted Phoenix to draft Derek Queen if we couldn't get Malawak, but we got our dream scenario. I've been talking about the draft ever since it happened. I'm ecstatic. I'm ready for a new culture in Phoenix, a new squad. We're finally young again. It's a young team to watch that I can look forward to for the next few seasons. Like the team that I've been watching, it's like they're all old. It's like not exciting. I'm gonna get to watch Jalen Green dunk on people and Malawak catching lobs left and right.
Professional lob catcher. That's come on, Malawak.
Come on, Malawak. Yep.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the draft before we talk about some trades that went down this past week? Actually, some of them before the draft, but still, whatever. No,
I don't think I have any more thoughts. Ace Bailey, don't be an idiot. Don't be stupid. Trey Johnson, I think you might have a better rookie season than anybody.
good thought.
I think Trey Johnson could win Rookie of the Year, honestly. If it's not Coop, I think it could be Trey Johnson.
Good thought. I like that take.
I think he's really good.
All right, trades. So Celtics and Blazers, they got busy, I think, right after we recorded the episode earlier.
This happened 10 minutes after we recorded the episode.
Finished recording, and then Drew Holiday traded to the Blazers for Anthony Simons. Man, I don't think I've seen a single Portland fan that's like jumping for joy right now.
Nah, Drew Holiday's also pissed. It doesn't really make any sense that Portland did this deal.
Take on a bigger contract for an older guy
And trade our young
with
star.
less years.
Interesting. Trade
With
the
nothing
only
else. No picks.
Trade literally the only guy that learned from Damian Lillard on the roster and just get him out of here just cuz. Pure genius by the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie. The Trailblazers get like a C at best for this trade. At best. I mean, you want to call it D minus, F plus.
I'm gonna give them an F
Plus.
plus.
Give them an F plus. There's
F
worse
plus.
trades.
There's worse trades.
That New Orleans trade.
Drew Holiday's been traded to the Trailblazers like twice already. And I bet you he never plays for them either trade. Because I bet you he's going to get bought out or he gets moved again. And I could see Anthony Simons getting moved again by Boston.
Possibly.
I mean, I saw it more before the draft, but
yeah, it's kind of a weird situation they got going over there. Now they got Anthony Simons in there with, Peyton Pritchard and
Derek White, Jaylen Brown.
And everyone loves Peyton Pritchard. I haven't met a single Boston Celtics fan that's like, oh man, I hate Peyton Pritchard.
They think he's the next like Kyrie.
They think he's Jesus.
I know.
And I would too.
Aiden Good. Shout out Aiden Good. You literally think Peyton Pritchard is like
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, the Celtics did not end there.
Nope.
They actually got involved in the 3-team trade, the Celtics, Hawks, and Nets, in which Kristaps and a second go to the Hawks. Terrence Mann and the number 22 pick, who ended up being Drake Powell,
great pick,
go to the Nets. And then Georges Niang and the second rounder to the Celtics. And you have to think, is this all they could get for Kristaps Porzingis?
Oh, man.
Must have been the trade they liked the most because they decided to do it.
I think what happened with this trade is like, okay, we're not trying to move Porzingis for value or capital in the draft or anything. Straight up think this is a salary dump trade.
It has
100% because they are completely out of the second apron now and they're still under the first apron. But they've cleared out $100 million in the past week.
Yeah, I mean, just as you were talking about, so Georges Niang, he's got a deal currently. It was when he signed it, 3-year, $25 million deal. So less than $10 million a year. They just traded away. Kristaps was making 30 plus, maybe like 29.
No, I think he's making 32.
32, something like that. So that clears out a fat 20 million at least, 20
Yeah.
plus million. So that had to be the idea behind that. But I feel like, hey, I'm excited for Kristaps on the Hawks.
Me too.
What he can give them, and some more floor spacing for Trae Young to maybe be able to get dirty down there and dish some assists as well. But I hope he's healthy for them. That's the only thing I'm kind of concerned about.
Did we predict Porzingis to the Hawks?
Did we?
I could have sworn the episode that we were sitting here talking, I think it was 15. We're talking about where Porzingis and Jared Allen and all them should go. Did we talk about... I'm going to have to go back and look. I think we talked about a potential Porzingis to Atlanta would be cool and fun to watch. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think we briefly mentioned it.
Check the clips.
But back on to, what we're actually talking about.
That'd be cool if we predicted that.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I definitely did not. I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know. I think
definitely a thing you said.
Yeah. But I think if he's healthy, this is amazing for Atlanta. Finally giving Trae, an all-star next to him. It's unfair to say that he's not an all-star. He has been an all-star in this league before. He very much could be again. He's a 7-footer that can shoot the shit out of the ball. He can defend very well. Not in the perimeter, but he needs to stay healthy. I think if he stays healthy, this team is pretty good, and the East is wide open.
Yeah, East is wide open. I could see them, maybe if they do some other moves, they can get 5-6 seed.
They have a very good starting lineup as of right now. Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Reese-O'Shea, Jalen Johnson, and now Porzingis at the 5. They still have Clint Capella to deal with, and they got to figure that out. But I think this team is not bad.
I think this could be a team that echoes maybe not as much of the defensive presence that the Magic have, but kind of a young team on the rise in the East, possibly. As you mentioned, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Reese-O'Shea, Jalen Johnson, all young guys. So
they got a former number 1 overall pick on their team.
Keep tabs on the Hawks. They might be getting busier. Got to deal with Clint Capella, as you mentioned. But another trade. The Pelicans and the Wizards. So CJ McCollum gets sent to the Wizards.
Yikes.
For Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the 40th overall pick, who I actually did not see who that ended up being. So while I do that, Austin, talk about this trade.
Okay. CJ McCollum going to Washington. They clearly brought him there to be a veteran presence. He's one of the best veterans in the NBA. He's also still a bucket getter. He can go out and get you a bucket in any situation, any scenario, any time, any place. CJ McCollum will score with the best of them. Washington. Getting rid of Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey. I don't even necessarily understand this trade unless you're straight up. Washington is straight up just looking for expiring contracts and a veteran presence. CJ McCollum, he's an expiring contract after the season. He will be a free agent. Sadiq Bey, he didn't really pan out necessarily like they wanted him to. They got him from Detroit. And Jordan Poole, not the guy that they thought he was going to turn into.
Yeah.
I also still think there's time for Jordan Poole. Washington isn't the greatest culture in the world. They don't have, that developmental program like they really need, like they had in the past with John Wall and Bradley Beal. I think bringing in CJ McCollum, they just re-signed Chris Middleton. They have Marcus Smart on the roster still. So I think those are guys that they want to teach the young guys. And they just drafted Trey Johnson, who models his game after Devin Booker, he said. And CJ McCollum is a great teacher for that. I think this trade was solely made for developmental purposes for their young guys. And maybe, just maybe, if a Giannis becomes available, if somebody becomes available, they have that salary to add the young guys and the picks if they want to go out and make a splash. So I actually like this trade for Washington more than I do for the Pelicans.
I'll give you an A+ on analysis for this trade. I think that's exactly what's going on. Last thing you need is top 6 pick Trey Johnson coming into training camp, and he's learning from Jordan Poole, and whatever shot is okay, and defense doesn't matter, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Not saying Jordan Poole would say that, but I'm just
it's kind of how it goes. So
can't imagine he would have developed into the player they would want in the current system that they have, and well. Now, post-trade, I think it's a lot better for a lot of the young guys. And I think that actually does it for trades, right?
I believe that's
Mark Williams. Yeah. At least the notable ones. I think there may have been 100 million trades. As I mentioned, actually 26 of the picks were not owned by the team that
crazy.
made the pick. So
unreal.
Not going to mention all those because a lot of those are like second rounders and another second rounder for a second rounder or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
What else do you have for us? Actually, you got
All right,
some more
James.
nuggets to talk about.
Yeah, I do. So now that the draft has happened, that means the Kevin Durant trade is fully finalized. We're going to go back and revisit it, and I want you to give a grade for the Rockets and the Suns.
Okay.
The Rockets got Kevin Durant. The Suns got Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Kaman Malawak, Rasheer Fleming, and Kobe Bray.
All right, and Rasheer Fleming and Kobe Bray, were those from the picks the Rockets gave you, or like you traded Rockets picks to get them?
We
you-
traded seconds that we got from Houston to get these picks.
Okay, so yeah, this is the final Kevin Durant.
This is the full Kevin Durant trade in its glory.
It could look a lot better for you, depending on how Malawak, Fleming, and Bray turn out. I mean, impossible to grade. Like I said, you know, it's the same reason I don't like to give any losers for the NBA draft is because you don't know how people are going to turn out. However, we mentioned Jalen Green. I think exciting. I don't know. He could do something. I don't know. Aren't you a little excited? You know, he's a young guy.
I'm really excited.
Dylan Brooks, great veteran presence, but as we mentioned, Malawak was the guy you guys needed to get in this draft for it to be worth it. You got him. And then Rasheer Fleming just kind of fell into your lap. You guys, I mean, obviously you guys had your eyes on the prize. You traded up in order
because we knew he was going to go number one in the second round.
And you ended up getting him too. So, and there's a lot of people that I know that said that, or that I've seen, on social media that agree you guys won this draft. So the draft going well for you guys was so important for this trade to look a little better. I agree. I think this trade looks a lot better after the draft, but man, you're lucky. I'm not saying Colin Murray Boyles instead of, Kaman Malawak. I've been throwing a lot of shade at him. Sorry, you just don't fit the Suns as well. However, Malawak, you got your guy.
Oh yeah, we did, and I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier about the Phoenix Suns in the past 2 days. I'm excited.
Even amended your beef with the owner.
Oh yeah, dude, we're cool now. We're buddies, but there's still not moves. There's still moves to be made. There's still not the NBA offseason literally just started.
Exactly.
Free agency starts next week. That'll be interesting. There's going to be a lot of movement in the NBA, and any trades or moves that you want to see coming, James? Any big guys you want to see moved? Any rotational guys? Missing pieces for any teams?
Well, this isn't as much a missing piece, but this is just a guy I want to see in a different uniform. Man, I want to see Jaylen Brown somewhere else, man. Hey, Jaylen Brown on hopefully a contending team. I don't want him anywhere else. I just want him on a team that can contend. I'm talking literally 1 through 8 seed in either conference. It's a fairly wide area that that's acceptable for me to be happy. I just want to see him ball out somewhere, prove that he's not, any kind of second option. I low-key would love if he went somewhere else and played better than Jason Tatum ever did. I just think
that'd be crazy.
It'd be like a nice little way. You could troll every Celtics fan. They all deserve it. They all deserve to be trolled, Celtics fans.
True.
I would,
agreed.
Just for the sake of trolling my friends, I want Jaylen Brown to leave and,
all right, James,
and do something better.
So would you accept or decline this trade?
Okay.
So you're the Boston Celtics and the Utah Jazz are calling your phone. And they tell you,
sounds good.
Hey, we'll offer you Lauri Markkanen, Ace Bailey, our unprotected first next year, and our unprotected first the year after. What are you saying if you're Boston for Jaylen Brown?
Yes. Click. That's it. You didn't have to offer up Ace Bailey. I feel like Markkanen and some firsts would almost do. I mean, not quite.
Talking about Finals MVP Jaylen Brown here.
That is true. However, I'm not sure, for the Celtics, if keeping Jaylen Brown and waiting for Tatum to come back for a whole nother year after is really the answer. I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say Markkanen in a couple firsts. However, Ace Bailey in there, that's a massive difference. I mean, they are going to, again, have to move on from a lot of different guys because they drafted, right? But especially from Utah, you take those first round picks no matter where they are because they're going to mess something up. You already know. At least recent Utah. I mean, what is a fair trade for you for Jaylen Brown? Is it something like you just said?
Obviously, I just made that up. I think it'd be an overpay of Utah if they did that, but I think that's what Boston is accepting that kind of offer
Yeah.
for Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
Um,
Something that blows him out of the water.
yeah, I mean, something that's more realistic. It's kind of hard because not a lot of teams have those assets to go out and get Jaylen Brown, and I think Utah is one of the very few teams that could do it. I would almost be interested in like, oh man, I said Atlanta last time because I think that'd be awesome, and I think they have a lot of pieces that they could offer. But I think that's just out of the picture now. They just got Porzingis, so I don't know where I necessarily. I mean, Brooklyn would be really fun. I think Jaylen Brown to go with a bunch of young dudes, ball out in Brooklyn. I think Boston could get so many pieces from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So many pieces
And
from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's on sale.
Yeah.
Brooklyn just might not be looking to trade.
I mean, there's also teams like Milwaukee that need to go out and get someone because Damian Lillard is not going to be there. And Giannis is monitoring what they're doing to decide, all right, am I going to stay or am I going to get the hell out of here?
Is this worth it or not?
Yeah, is it really worth it to stay in Milwaukee? Me personally, I don't think Giannis should stay in Milwaukee. I think it's going to do nothing but hurt him when it comes to championships and actually achieving great things in the NBA. Now, he himself will have personal great accolades, and he will be, when it's all said and done, probably a top 15 player of all time, in my opinion. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. But when it comes to Milwaukee and, success in Milwaukee, I don't see more success at all. I don't see him winning another championship in Milwaukee because they don't have any young guys. They don't have any. They're not known to make crazy trades. They made one, and it was for Drew Holiday, and that was the missing piece. So I think, when they wanted to, go after Damian Lillard and they got him, that was amazing for Giannis. Didn't really help, though, because they're not healthy and they're not playing together. So I think Giannis needs to get out of Milwaukee. And honestly, bro, give me a Jaylen Brown Giannis trade. I want to see that. I want to see Giannis go to Boston.
That's something Brown where
because I think that's the most even.
Boston would have to fork over the picks
Boston
at that
will
point.
be forking over picks at that point. But to be honest with you, if you compare up Giannis and Tatum, you do it in a heartbeat. I don't care what you got to give up. Jaylen Brown and multiple picks, you do that. You
and
do
then
it in a heartbeat.
You could almost see the rest of the roster for Milwaukee just blowing up as well.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what they end up doing. I mean, obviously, though, I'm not sure, or not that I'm not sure. There's probably not a lot of the same front office around as when Kareem was not retained on the Bucks. However,
definitely not.
I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis went to like the Lakers or was dealt to the Lakers, or maybe even if they let free agency roll around for Giannis if he ended up moving on and going to a team like the Lakers. But I feel like the Bucks they're taking a big fat chance if they're going to let Giannis interview with other teams in a free agency market. You know what I mean? They're
taking the biggest risk and chance. And I don't know, if I'm Giannis, I'm not signing an extension with Milwaukee. I'm not staying. I mean, they're not doing anything to help you. I think it's time. I think it's time for that homegrown star. You brought them a championship.
Mm-hmm.
You brought the team that drafted you a championship. I mean, that's majority NBA players' dream. You did it. Nobody in the world of basketball or in the world of sports is going to go out and say, you should have never left Milwaukee. Nobody's going to hate on you. Nobody's going to say like this is derailing your career. I think at this point in his career, it's acceptable for him to go to a different team and try to contend elsewhere because it's not happening in Milwaukee. He did what he's supposed to. He brought them there one. Can't be greedy. Now get out and go do it somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that one championship matters a lot to just, because that's the difference between, a Giannis signing with someone else and a Kevin Durant signing with the Golden State Warriors, right? Or a LeBron James signing with the or with the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. So he's obviously not going to be a villain. I think once he realizes he wouldn't be a villain for leaving, he's out of there.
Yeah.
And he's going to sign somewhere else. So I think they really should deal him, to be completely honest. But
I agree.
Unless he has an astounding amount of loyalty, which he possibly could. Seems like a really nice guy, to be completely honest.
Another thing I want to see. Let's act like we're in a NBA fantasy dream scenario, but we're in the year 2017. Now, what would you do how would you react if I told you that There's a legitimate possibility that KD, Harden, and Russ reunite on the Houston Rockets in 2025.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, I'd probably wonder, man, does Kevin Durant win 8 straight championships with the Golden State Warriors? That's probably what I'd ask you first. We're fresh in 2017. Probably not a bad assumption at that point. But I'd say you're doing drugs, man. There's no. What are you talking about? Are they all washed at this point? No, the answer is no. They're all still very good. Russ, surprisingly, kind of, I guess you could say, the least productive out of the three of them.
But like he's getting less minutes on every team he's been on. He's not really given that opportunity anymore. I still think he's a great NBA player.
Exactly. So the three of them together again. Oh man. They could accomplish what they were never able to accomplish.
But do it in Houston.
That's kind of a middle finger to OKC. However, they got their chip anyways.
Yeah, I mean, a team that they've all... I mean, I never thought that KD, Harden, and Russ would all have played for the Houston Rockets at some point in their career. Russ played with Harden in Houston, and now KD is in Houston. Imagine them back together. I mean, that's just fun.
Yeah.
That's just awesome. That's
done.
What a storybook ending if they all went to Houston and all retired in Houston.
Are they that close of friends that they would do that?
Oh, I think they are.
Maybe. I don't actually know.
They've all teamed up together again except for KD and Russ at some point in their careers. Like, there's a reason. Just saying, I think it'd be really cool. I think the NBA would freak out about that. I think that's cinema. That's box office team to watch. KD, Harden, and Russ back in the same team. Russ isn't the same player. Harden's not the same player. KD is. If anything, he's probably better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'd be really cool. It'd be exciting. That team is awesome. Could win a championship to end it off.
Oh, man, that would be good. That would also boom the economy in Houston. How many people would be buying tickets for Rockets games if they had KD, Harden, and Russ? I'm not even talking about just Rockets fans. People would be flying.
I would
want to
see that team
to watch that team or wherever they go.
It'd be awesome. It'd be great. So I don't know. I think that'd be something fun. I don't really have anything else.
I also don't have anything.
Well, I thought we had to do another episode after the draft. Wanted to get it out. Wanted to just talk about everything because there's so much and there's a lot of important moves being made.
What? I'm not doing anything. I'm just talking to the camera.
No, I know. I think it's pretty funny when you do that stuff. So should I just let you go? James, why don't you throw us the outro?
I throw us the outro?
Yeah, you never do. Let's hear it.
Thank you guys for watching. This has been Above the Rim. Is that good? Do you want to just do the outro?
Peace.
Peace.